Hi, I'm Jake. I'm the guy behind Rooted Romantic, and I'm putting together an order today that's getting shipped out to Halifax, I think it was? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But it's from my spooky collection. It's a ghost, it's a pair of earrings, and I'm just going to show you a behind the scenes look of how I put together an order. So, enjoy! Alrighty, so first I've got my spooky collection sketched out here. This is my pendant size and this is my earring size. So this is the one we're going to be looking at today. And now I need to get my pliers and wires. Alrighty, so here I have all my tools, well, most of my tools, and partly finished projects. For this project I'm going to be using my hammer. What else do we got here? I'll be using my flat nose, pointers, super needle pointers, very academic terms, side cutters, my round nose, and my precision cutters. And I have many wires, my backups. I still have brass, but I don't use that often. I'll be using the 26 gauge wire for all the wraps, my half-hard 20, and probably my 22. And I'll be using my steel block. It's gotten a little rusty, so I'll have to polish that off a second first. Got some steel wool and some sandpaper, light, very fine 600 sandpaper. Let's start with the sandpaper. Alright, and some steel wool. I'll do the hammer too. Okay, and finally I'll just use some oil and beeswax mix that's usually used for cutting boards, and a rag, and I'll just finish polishing that up. Alright, let's get to it. I'm gonna start with the 20 gauge wire, lengthen it out. We'll be doing the pointed ghost today. Got my pointy pliers, and I trace it around. So I draw it all out first, then I can make some consistency between them all. And then once the pliers start wrecking it all, especially with the popular ones like from my Leaf series, keep all the lines smooth and a flow going with the movement of the wire. Use my fingers and pliers, depending on how it feels. Using half-hard wire, it's a little bit stiffer and it can hold its shape pretty well, especially after the hammering. Grab my little snips and snip. Double check it, make sure it looks pretty good. Yeah, it's a little bit off from the pattern, but you know, it's handmade, so that's the beauty of it. They're all going to be slightly different. Smooth it out a little bit. I want to get a bit more flow in this side here. Got some nice flow on that side now, and I think I'm happy with that. As he fixes it up more. One down. Now we got to do the other one. And the second one. Start from the top. Get some movement in there again. My mouth is very close to the mic now, so hopefully not too loud. And now we also have to try and do it the same as the one that we just did, because these are going to be a pair of earrings. So they have to matchy. This is really awkward with the camera here. Okay, I want this curve there. I find that using my hand gets rid of, what am I trying to say? You can see it's not as smooth. There we are. Get that corner in there. Corners are nice and sharp edges. Look at that. The bend is almost exactly what I want. But I had a little bit more movement in there. And bring it in. Reach around while we're doing. Get that hand in there. And finishing off. And there's that. Snip, snip. Okay, have a look there. A little awkward in places there. Let's see if we can straighten this out, smooth it out. Sometimes I don't have the wire all smooth. It's not very level all the way through. It bends in 3 dimensions, not just on the 2D plane. So, I think that's pretty good. Let's have a look at the two side by side. Slight differences, but that's okay. So we will have one facing one way, one facing the other way, so it's symmetrical on the face. Gonna fix the roundness on here. Let's see what we can do here. And the roundness on there. And yeah, that's pretty good. All right, the bending is done. Now it's hammer time. All right, let's clean up this area a little bit. Give me lots of room. I'll want to remember to have facing one way and one facing the other way. We want to hammer on the backward side. So this one will actually end up being more like that because the hammer causes some changes to the texture. So I hold it in the shape because once it hammers, you can't bend it anymore. So any changes you want to make, you got to do before you do the hammering. So here's some loud noises of hammerings. The goal is not necessarily to flatten the whole thing of the shape on this end part. I probably will, because the slight variations in where I hammer add some interesting texture. My neighbors love me when I have large orders. Alright, let's see if we can get a close look at that. So maybe you can, maybe you can't see the textures. That's what the hammer gives. And the nicely polished block leaves a smooth, more reflective texture. I don't know if you can see the difference on the screen. So the part that we hammered will be the back, and the part that was against the steel block will be the front. Alright, let's try this again. You can see how it's bent in the 3 dimensions outside of just the one plane. Alright, let's see if we can see the texture in this angle. So this is the back. You can see there's lines. It does add interesting textures. Sometimes I move that to the front. But then on the front, it's smoother and shinier. So I have these beautiful antique sewing desk drawers. And I have all my stones here. So here's my howlite. And that's what we'll be using. Now we start putting it together. These are earrings, so I think I need my ear wires. 1 and 2. Need some jump rings. I'm not sure if I'll use 2 or 4. So one of these ends will just be the ridge that it connects to. So just move a little bit up and bend it around, bend it out a little bit, and squish it together. Squish, and we'll cut that there. Put one of these jump rings in there right away. Okay, this side, we'll want to wrap around. Oops, stay in the frame. Alright, up and over. And gently but firmly wrap it around. And around. And around. And around. Sometimes it just keeps going. Alright, and make sure we're on the back. It's the front. Just wrap it around a little bit more. And then on the back end, snip. And smooth it out. Get that right flush on there. There's our little ghost. I forgot to put the French hook in there as well. Gently pull that apart. Make sure the shepherd's hook is facing the right direction. Gently close it again. And then just a little tap tap. And we've got our little ghost friend. Alrighty, so now we do it again. Except this time we have to make sure that we went out about the same amount as the last time. Compare the lengths. It's about right. And bend it back and squish. Now our jump ring. There. And we'll just cut that to length. Snip. Now this side, bend it down and make sure it all is in place. This one is not going as smoothly. That's okay. That's life sometimes. Wrap it around, 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 around. And if I did spacing like this on the last one, you want to make sure I have the same spacing there. And we're back on the front. Nope, this is the front. I'll loop it around once more. And snip. And flush it. Then we will open the jump ring again. Make sure the hook faces the right direction. Shaky hands. And flush that out. Just a couple tap taps. Okay, so using howlite on these. 1 and 2. And we'll get the 26 gauge wire. So probably just cut off a length. Grab one and we'll wrap it tightly. I like to go around a nice number, at least 3, but I'll probably do 5. We are going to be threading it through behind. It's just like a plop of color. Well, white. Still a color, I guess. Make sure that it fits nicely. Send this up. Wrap it around again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's our 5th wrap. So we'll just snip and make it flush. And there you go. That one's done. Now we'll do the same on the other side. That's 5. Do that again. Get our bead, howlite. I lost some of the tension in that somehow, so just fix that. One more. Finish that up. that's that. So I make my own packaging as well. This is already pre-cut. I cut it. So we print out the labels, stick it on, make sure it's centered. What did I just say? Make sure it's centered. And I use a piece of cardboard because my fingers might smudge the ink, which is not what we want. And then the back. Make sure everything's facing the same direction. Stick it on there. Okay, front and back. I got these handy dandy punchers. Line them up with the dots I put on the computer. And then put the guys in there. My little ghost earrings. Last thing, I have these earring backings. So put them on the back. Where is it? I don't have earrings, so I'm not used to this kind of thing. Pierced ears, I mean. Make sure it's all in there. Oof. Okay, there we go. So there we have it. Front and back. Now I just print off the address and put it all in the packaging and bring it to the post office. Thanks for watching and have a good spooky season.